Well, hello everyone. I want to thank you for joining my channel tonight. I'm Chrystal Lynn, Cowgirl Astrologer, and tonight I want to talk about what's going on up in the sky. Just give a little bit of a feel of the energetic happenings happening right now up in the planets and how they can truly affect us down here on Earth. We have a lot of things going on literally today as we speak. And I like to come on when things are actually happening because then we can really get a feel for, starting to feel these shifts and changes. If you've been following astrology for a while and you've been following the transits, you may have started to notice that you are really beginning to become sensitive enough to start to feel these changes, where maybe before you would have blocked those feelings out or not known what was going on. I think a lot of times when we have these kind of shifts, people can go into a real state of panic because they're feeling mentally off or physically off. I know the last 2 days, both of my kids have ran little fevers. And yes, it's part of this time of year, but it could be a sensitivity to the changes going on. Maybe you're feeling really tired, or, frustrated, or, you may be experiencing some more powerful emotions. One of the main players right now that is so important to follow, if you aren't sure how to follow the transits, so you're just beginning to learn, one of the most important planets, I believe, that we should be paying attention to is Mars. Mars changes signs approximately every 8 weeks. And Mars really gives us, I believe, the flavor, the energy behind what's going on in the world and behind the scenes of what's going on in our lives. And Mars makes a full circle around the sun once every 2 years. So, you can look and see, where was Mars when you were born? And, where is Mars now? Every 2 years, you're going to have your Mars return. And I always say that this is kind of like a shot in the arm from the universe. It can feel like steroids from heaven. Now, that may sound really good, right? But we have to know how to handle this kind of energy, okay? Because if we don't, we can really get caught off guard. And so part of what I want to do, especially going into 2017 with my astrological weather reports, is to really give you guys an honest and more practical, realistic view of how this can affect us. It's easy to want to skirt around some of the tougher issues and kind of just, come out here with fluffy love and light. But, the truth of the matter is that doesn't help any of us if we don't really know what we're dealing with and what's going on around us, because there's some very strong themes that are happening around us. I've been talking about them for a while. So, and many of you guys have identified with me on your comments to me. But obviously, relationship issues have been on the forefront. Why? We look to Jupiter in Libra for that. Jupiter bringing expansion, blowing things up. It's like a helium balloon, bringing to the table all of our relationships. Okay. Now, the other issue that we really need to look at now is Neptune has been in Pisces. We know that, and has started going direct as of November 18th. And Mars, as of today, as we speak, is moving into Pisces, has officially moved into Pisces. Okay, not even at 1 degree yet. So Mars, steroids from heaven, Another way to look at Mars is volcanoes, okay? Volcanoes, because Mars is a fiery, fiery planet. And you know, when you meet somebody that has a strong Martian nature, that, you know, they're just full of life. They're going, they're plowing through. Nobody can stop them. They're impulsive, you know, right? We see that. But now we're going to take Mars, this fiery planet, and put it down in the water of Pisces. So what do we have here? Maybe we could look at this as a beautiful hot spring, right? A natural hot spring of hot lava underneath boiling up, warming up the water. And, you know, hot springs can be wonderful for healing and bringing out toxicity. If you've ever sat in a hot spring, a natural spring, it opens your pores and it brings things out that are unseen, that we cannot always see. So we could take this as simple as, you know, maybe a little pimple that's been festering and you go sit in the hot springs and there it is. And, you know, you feel better, but the reality is nobody really likes pimple. With a pimple comes, you know, a whole process of, you know, that dirt probably got down in there, something unclean, something toxic. It's been festering for a while, turning into an infection, starting to hurt you, starting to be painful. And finally, the day comes when it comes to the surface and you can begin to kind of address it. Well, that's a little bit about what this is like, because we have been going through such intense energy in the realm of relationships. You see that there's a very strong, I call it like an epidemic of toxic relationships coming to the surface. And we can categorize this in a lot of ways. You know, we see that it's very popular to be talking, and has been, the narcissist and the empath, personality disorders, control issues, you know, the empath having to face the fact, for those of you who do have that giving nature, and we can see that in astrology in the chart, who has that naturally giving nature, that in giving and helping and fixing and being there for everybody, right? All the good things in life that we're told are good, right? For the first time in life, we're going, oh my God, maybe this hasn't been so good. Maybe I have done this for my own validation. Maybe this is the way I gain my self-worth. And in giving to others, you know, maybe we've seen now that those relationships can end very tragically. And when they're over, you can feel like, oh my gosh, I was so vulnerable. I gave my soul. I was always there. And so you really feel wounded. I think in terms of ego, or the feeling of competition right now, this strong energy that we see everywhere, kind of, you know, there's no real rules anymore of what you can say to another person. I mean, we see that through trolling on the internet, people hiding. Okay, here's this word again, Neptune and Pisces, hiding behind the scenes. And, you know, just with the press of a button, okay, an illusion pops out. And this illusion can destroy people and hurt people. And so if you are somebody out here that's, you know, trying to make a difference, there's going to be 10 people, 100 people trolling around that are uncomfortable with that light. And they're going to let you know it. And you have to be able to be in a really good place up here to really understand that you have a calling in life, that you have a mission, that you have dreams, and that you want to live to your fullest potential, whatever that is. But because this is such a spiritual battle, okay, again, Neptune and Pisces, now we're bringing Mars into this, okay? So, I mean, to really get into the whole nature of Pisces takes a long time, and really understanding the depth of this sign. And, I tell you guys, I have a rising and moon in Pisces and a lot of Pisces in my life. So this Mars transit is going to be very interesting in my life the next 8 weeks. But just to kind of give a nutshell, so to speak, or just, a little icing on the cake. In dealing with Pisces, we have to understand that it is the 12th sign of the zodiac. And it is the time in life, it represents the ages of 77 to 84 at the end, usually, okay, of our lives. When we've come to the place that, we've let go of material things, you're not going to have a U-Haul behind the hearse. It's the place where maybe we found God, we've found this spiritual connection, that we understand that in the end, that's the most important thing. It's this place in your life where you've let go of all the earthly things that hold us. So on a really powerful level and on a really positive side, this next 8 weeks can be an opening for you spiritually, kind of like this veil being removed, and for you to really see through to the other side, to finally get it, to get what works for you. It can also bring in a lot of dreams this next 8 weeks. Okay, dreams and visualization, manifesting. Pisces is the #1 manifester. You Pisces out there. Pisces have to be careful because they can manifest good and they can manifest bad. If they allow their minds, which often happens, okay, because the fish goes up, the fish goes down. Sometimes they're on top of the world and they can see the good of humanity and they can see all that's possible. But you guys have probably seen it when a Pisces starts feeling down. It's like the song I always sing, everybody hates me, nobody likes me. I think I'll eat some worms. It's kind of this self-sabotaging, why even bother mentality. Nobody cares, And it's very, very, self-sabotaging. And it is the life often of the Pisces, because the Pisces has a hard time living in this world where there are limitations, where there are material restrictions, where, they can see the possibilities, but can't get it through to people that, they can have this or what is possible. So kind of, because they are in that state of being where and they're born this way, that old soul. If you're Pisces, you probably as a child were called an old soul, are born understanding on a way higher conscious level. So it's kind of like having to come down on earth and try to live here. And that's often why you see, escaping, and you see, addiction, and you see homelessness, because people have lost that connection to reality. That, you got to have a roof over your head. But often when the Pisces goes down that dark, lonely path, they just let go of caring about everything. So it's intense. So you say, well, what does this have to do with me, or what's going on right now? Well, these are some of the issues you may be dealing with. Some of the issues you may be dealing with in, what is really important. Letting go of material things that have maybe been holding you back. The ability to let go and see through to these really negative and toxic relationships in our lives. It's hard to see the truth, because once you see the truth, then you have to be accountable for it. Meaning, am I going to live with this? Am I going to be held back? Pisces, remember, it's water. So the Pisces energy, it keeps pushing through to find a way through. And if something's blocking it, it'll go up and over, it'll go around, it'll go under, it'll seep through. And that's the beautiful thing about this free spirit. You know, you can't really pin a Pisces down. If you've been in a relationship with somebody that's a Pisces, the minute you try to put restraints, time limits, outlines, checklists, all those things, they just rebel because they have to be free to, you know, go off their intuition of where life will lead them, like water, you know, seeping through. Where am I to go? So this next 8 weeks is not going to be about trying to have everything under control. It's going to be about flowing and using your intuition to make decisions and using that, you know, that ability to have visions and manifest and believe. What a beautiful time for Mars to be in Pisces right before we enter into the new year. Now, don't forget, we're just coming out of a double conjunction in Aries. Venus and Mars have been in Aquarius. Venus and Mars have been in Aquarius. Venus is still there. So ideas right now are coming down for those of us who are creators or artists, or any type of job you're working in where you're getting ideas. Now, Mars moving into Pisces gives the green light to actually manifest them, to go ahead and do them, to go ahead and try them. Don't put any perfectionistic stuff on it, though, because you'll get stopped. That's the Virgo side, the opposite axis that wants to make everything perfect before they step out. And, you know, this is the time to just jump out there. Go by your spirit, go by your heart, go by your dreams, you know, make mistakes, fix them along the way. And it's a very freeing time. Now, again, you know, we have to look at some of the practical issues we might see in our world today. Right now, we've been, you know, seeing so much going on in the world about water and oil. Water and oil is represented by Pisces, by Neptune. Okay, it rules that area of the world. So Neptune has been bringing these issues to the surface, saying, hey, you guys down there on Earth, you're not going to make it if you keep putting these pipelines through and making toxicity throughout all the communities. And now we don't have drinking water. I mean, right now, they're having lines out the door for drinking water in some of these places where the water's been, you know, considered contaminated. And just for a couple, you know, packs of water, it's like $75. You know, it's because they're going to, and that's scary. That's our water. We've never really had to worry about our water. Well, guess what? That's why these issues, these activists, the Native Americans are coming forth and bringing true wisdom to our earth that we, you know, we've just been living life, not paying attention to. So that's on a big worldwide scale, okay? Now, Mars in Pisces is going to really bring this to the surface. Often you see, remember, Mars blows things up. We may see a lot of major issues, as we already are, with oil and water, and it getting worse. Now, in your own personal life, you know, your car may have a radiator leak. You know, you may have a leak in your house right now. You may get your whole bathroom flooded out, you know, your laundry room flooded out before Christmas. And I'm not trying to bring negative things on, but check your water pipes. You know, this is the time of year that things freeze, and then when they warm up, they break. These are practical issues that Mars in Pisces is kind of shaking underground. Now, the other thing, you know, and again, can get into a really kind of more deeper, darker level, but I do want to talk about it because like I said, I want to try to be a little bit more real in talking about astrology and honest, because these are the things I look at and I feel like they could be helpful to others. Pisces, you know, because it does represent a deceptive, toxic type of relationship, it also can represent children. You know, a lot of people that have strong Piscean thread in their chart may have experienced such things as molestations or abuse in that area. This is the holidays. You're going to go see a lot of family. You know, you might not want to let the kids go, you know, out for ice cream with Uncle Joe. I know I'm going to sound probably crazy, but pay attention. Pay attention around you. People are really crazy right now. Mars and Pisces will bring out the craziest of crazies mentally and emotionally. This is where we get addiction, alcoholism, you know, bipolar on an extreme malefic level, where we get abductions. Okay, I've done a lot of studies on children in cases where they've been abducted and often found drowned in water, different things like that. And it's not to scare people, but it's to pay attention around you. This is holiday season. You get out in the stores and you're not paying attention. Nothing's worth it. Watch your kids, pay attention to who's around you, because people are deceptive. And Pisces is the perfect example of of somebody that is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Okay, this could be somebody in your life right now. This could be a relationship you've been in and you're just like, something's wrong with this. Something doesn't feel right. My intuition. Well, guess what? Mars in Pisces is going potentially to bring that deception to truth, to the light. Are you ready? Are you ready to look? Are you ready to look? Because we can't go into 2017 with this heavy, dark cloud over us. And I think, you know, we've had Lilith and Scorpio in the background. We've had Ceres right now is conjunct Uranus in Aries. Ceres often also brings about bondage type relationships. Okay, in Aries, there's a strong identity crisis here. There's control issues here, dominant issues here, battling for power. Okay, and Mercury in Capricorn is now retrograde at the same exact time. So we're going to be going backwards now, reviewing some issues. Mercury in Capricorn is really all about, can be about government issues, could be about legal issues. It's definitely about money, power issues with money, because it comes down to most power issues are because money is, you know, the bottom line. Think back to September, October, when Mars was in Capricorn. What was going on in your life a few months back? Mercury may bring some of those issues on the table. It's a time to go back and clean house. It's a time to go back and really, if there's anything left in that foundation of your life that's a weak link, kick that thing out of there and put in something new, because you cannot build your house on a weak link. Capricorn is all about building the structure. Capricorns know, you know, they're the ones doing the building, getting the permits, you know, laying the foundation, the cement. Like, you know, not all of us like to do that job. We like to put the wallpaper up or the flowers or bring the plant in the house. You know, we like to do that part, hang the pictures up on the wall. Mercury for the next 3 weeks is going to have us all looking at our foundation. Identity, toxic relationships, and money. These three go together, and they often, you know, where's that root? Where is that root? Okay, in your life, is there anything holding you back? Sometimes, and this is another example of Mars and Pisces, sometimes this is the covert manipulator. Somebody who comes into your life and appears to be helpful, appears to be angelic, but they have a totally different agenda. And so even the good people in your life right now, you need to allow yourself to test, to question if you've been feeling a little uncomfortable. It doesn't mean that all good people are, going to be bad. It just means that even the angel light that comes into your life right now, you need to have your own, spiritual test and allow yourself to really listen to your intuition. If you feel uncomfortable about something or someone, you may not know why. You are not crazy right now, because that side of you, that Neptunian side of you that we all have, and you don't have to be a Pisces to experience this in your life. Look at your chart. What house do you have Pisces in? That's the house that's going to be highlighted. So if it's your first house, like mine, my ascendant, my identity's on the line the next 8 weeks. Like, I'm not going to be able to hide. I'm going to have to stand up for my truth. And I've, with Neptune and Pisces being retrograde that we just came out of the last 6 months, stuff that we've been dealing with the last 6 months now, and we didn't think we could just sit and obsess about and wonder about and think about. Now we have to make a stand. Mars is going to make the empaths strong right now. And I'm not trying to make it, about the empath versus the narcissist, but it is a mentality. And both have the ability to be very manipulative, one very outwardly manipulative and one very covertly manipulative. And when we talk about manipulation, we're basically saying, manipulation in and of itself, we manipulate things every day to work in our lives. What we're talking about is searching the heart and knowing what the true agenda is and looking at that. Sometimes we don't want to look, or we don't think it's okay for us to really question other people. Some of our conditioning that we've had in our lives for many years growing up has told us, to turn the other cheek. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, hell no. You better not turn that other cheek. You better be careful. Don't turn your back right now. So I'm not trying to bring about fear, because I'm actually, this is kind of hard for me to talk about some of these more intense subjects, but are they not real life, real world topics? When you look at these stories of things that have happened to people and you think, oh my gosh, it could never happen to me. Well, they do happen. And I think that we can use astrology to give us a heads up, to give us, let it be a little cheat sheet. Let it give you that heads up. Let it show you how to observe, how to pay attention to the energy around you, and how to bring out the best of it in your life. Like the next 8 weeks, I'm excited. I'm working on some stuff for Cowgirl Astrologer for 2017. I'm manifesting, I'm dreaming, I'm finally putting some ideas together. It's giving me more confidence, having a lot of Pisces. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to take this opportunity. It's a strong time to manifest. But I'm also being very careful because of the distractibility right now. I've already had a lot of people coming in to get me off track that had another agenda. And sometimes for me, it's days and days dealing with something that really isn't so important to me. But because I have integrity, I try to give those areas of my life, my attention. Takes me off what the greater good is and the future of things that I could do. So I'm noticing this pattern. I've been noticing this pattern for a long time. And now I'm starting to see the red flags before they happen, quicker. The other thing is that's so important about Mars and Pisces is setting boundaries right now in your life. Because Pisces really doesn't have boundaries. Remember, the water doesn't like boundaries. It just goes up and over and all over. That's why the Pisces can do so many creative things, because they don't live under boundaries. At the same time, though, you can have a toxic flood, or you can have, you think about these oil pipes that are cracking and the oil seeping out everywhere. That's because their boundary broke. Their boundary broke. So it's very, very important right now to set your boundaries. I want to empower everybody to realize that, life is happening fast. It's going. And there's so much information coming in that it's almost paralyzing people. Just paralyzing, like out of fear. I don't know how to make a life out of all this. Because we're entering into such a new dynamic of life with the internet. And this has been happening for a long time, but it's time is going faster, and you can now look and say, oh my gosh, a year went by, and what did I get distracted on that did not bring me any closer to what I know my true calling is? I truly believe that everybody has a true calling that we're given with at birth. But I also truly believe that we have free will. And that it's, if like my husband always tells me, if it were easy, everybody would do it. So, this is a time right now that the universe is still cleaning house with the North Node in Virgo, the South Node in Pisces. It's clearing out toxic energy. The South Node is the rear end of the snake, okay? And toxic energy goes out the back end, all right? The North Node being in Virgo is the head, the obsession, where we're going. And Virgo is all about feeding others, okay? But if you're so drained and you're so starving emotionally, spiritually, physically, and you're living in a state of, homelessness within your own heart, you can be homeless within your own home, then now's the time to really find your place. Find your freedom. This is the time that your spirit can come out and you can say, what's really important? What do I really dream of? What do I really want? Because during this 8 weeks, it plants a seed for the future. Okay, we're always planting seeds for the future. So, all this being said, have a great holiday. Pay attention. Create the holiday and the energy that you want. Don't let people come in and steal the joy of your life. Don't give it away. Claim it. You create it. With Mercury retrograde, before the year starts, this is the time to go back and get all your ducks in a row. Go back and look at your finances. Figure out what you want to do I got to make some money next year. Everybody's looking at their thing. Oh my gosh, this isn't going to work. What can you do? Now's the time. The ideas are coming in. Be creative. You can change your story. Mars in Pisces is all about creating a whole new script. It rules the movies and theater and film and photography. Take another picture. Write a new script. Believe beyond belief. And jump. Sometimes you just got to jump with faith. And when you do that, right now, the energy will support you. Okay, you guys, have a wonderful holiday. One last thing, and I apologize if this went on. This was the message I got tonight. Always during the holidays, I give out a few, which means 3, free readings. And I'm going to be doing that over the next 2 weeks coming on. They're 15-minute readings. I will not give your name because I will bring them on YouTube. I won't give your name, but I'll give the birth date. And all I need from you guys is to email me at Chrystal Lynn, I'll put it below, 68@gmail.com with your birthday if you'd like to enter, and 3 questions that you would like me to look at in the chart. I can usually look at 3 questions. I'm not guaranteeing all 3, but I'd like to see 3 questions you'd like me to look at and get a chance to win. I will be doing, like I said, I'll be popping on over the next 2 weeks doing all 3 of these readings on different nights around the holidays. And it'll be a great time to learn about reading charts. That's really when I do these, it's about teaching you guys and giving you a little more insight on how to read charts. So I would love for you to enter. Email me And I will be selecting 3 winners. And over the next 2 weeks, I will be coming on and sharing a little bit of chart reading. Okay, so I hope you guys will come on over and enter in. Again, have a great holiday.